Hello, everybody. It's Laura Eisenhower. I am joined today by my co-host and my dear friend, jemaasoncire. And we like to come together. We're going to try to do this each week to talk about the current energies, what's going on astrologically. So how are you doing?
Good.
How are the energies treating you?
Although they're intense. It's like they've sped up. It feels like we're transforming and clearing at light speed, and it's pretty uncomfortable. So that's why I love doing these. And when we do, I'm excited to get into a rhythm. So you guys out there aren't feeling alone in getting squeezed through the this forever portal. It
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah, it's interesting. Mars conjunct Uranus is a big one. Mars conjunct Uranus is very liberating, but it's been making a square to the North and South node, which has to do with soul trajectory, our destiny. And when I say the word destiny, it's more what your passion is, what you're bound to run into in your lifetime, what your soul is seeking, even though what we seek is already within. Destiny isn't like fixed fate either. It's a lot about, yeah, I don't know, just something unfolding and integrating that you get to interpret in your perspective that has the room for interpretation that won't always be the same as others. But yeah, with Uranus and Mars squaring, it can really feel like you've been derailed and you don't know where you're heading or where it's all going. And I think it has a lot to do with the current climate on the planet, the energetic climate. I think that's always the case, but right now it's especially intense. I think because of the data centers, Uranus rules technology, and in its lower sort of shadow octave, transhumanism, AI, weaponized frequency weaponization. In its highest octave, Mars conjunct Uranus with a square to the nodes would mean upgrade, be your sovereign self, override whatever it is that's happening. Don't let this derail you. Don't let it throw you into fear. So that's one thing that's definitely happening.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about that?
Oh my God, it's so right on with when I tuning in with our collective and just gathering what we are all feeling, including me, is that exactly what you just explained. We're getting like our higher self knows not to get tangled with all of those energies, the lower frequencies of the like those data centers, the wars going on, the question around the financial system, all of that. So, and we're getting bombarded with all of our consciousness is in this transition that we're going in of like the higher timeline are we're ascending. I know you talked about the bifurcation, so we are like, that's why I'm saying we're like in this endless like birth canal or portal trying to break free of those energies, and it is uncomfortable. So our path, no, our higher self is guiding us on our path away from that. Great with the planetary explanation of the energies that we're feeling because it is so right on. Yeah, so that's what I'm feeling that we're all kind of feeling. We're trying to get on our higher path, but we have these energies that are like holding on to our ankles to keep us in that false place of the matrix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are just falsities that we tend to hold on to or believe in about ourselves. And the minute we break that down, we are not in this matrix. Matrix functions on how we're indoctrinated. It requires social engineering for us to stay in a dependency bond with it. The minute we recognize ourselves as sovereign and creative and able to function without the dependency on it, then we're a lot more abundant and we're a lot more resourceful and our capacity to heal is that much greater. But we've been taught to fear if there's not a lot of money in the bank. We've been taught to fear if there's scarcity because of what's happening on the world stage. Sure, yeah, that's definitely something to be worried about if you can't just go out in your garden and pick some food or you haven't prepared and you don't have a closet full of food. But I think we're being pushed to the edge in order to recover our miracle vibration, our power of synchronicities, really being able to manifest our needs as we move through life. And I think you and I tested that a lot out in our lives. I lived on the road with no money. I manifested out of thin air, seriously. I know people are like, oh, you had family to fall back on that probably was able to take care of you if you really needed it. What about the people that are really struggling? I get that. I was really cut off from family for a while, raising my kids, cut off in a bad way. But just, I was living my life. I was trying to figure it out myself. I didn't want to lean on anybody. And leaning would be, I'll help you with a bill, not we're going to take care of your life. I'm just saying that there's ways to get out of a particular mindset that only generates more validation of that mindset versus shifting
Yeah.
gears and realizing the proper mindset can change your reality. And I played with that a lot in my life, and I saw the
Mhm.
results. And it was miraculous with healing, with manifesting money, with meeting the right people. And so in these trying times, we just have to, yeah, make sure we're operating from the highest, best, and most creative part of ourselves. Can you talk to us about that and
Yeah.
what you experience when you're in poverty consciousness or you're constantly in a looping of fear? How that doesn't serve your creative energy at all, and it makes things worse and your health worse.
Yes, totally. And that's where it's practicing that old saying, wherever we're placing our consciousness is what's going to be manifesting in our reality. And oh man, throughout the years, me too, because I've been this in the same boat, single mom in the kind of not having a lot, and then the fear of, oh my gosh, how am I going to get groceries for them? And I didn't really have people to fall back on. And I'm just a hard worker. And then knowing that I could just manifest. Actually, my first time that I realized that I could manifest and be like, whoa, I can manifest. I had moved to the mainland with my kids, and this was years ago. My youngest is now almost 18, and he was only 1 at the time. So this is years ago. And we moved into my dad's house, and I thought, from Hawaii, and I thought it would be easy to find a job, and then I'd get into the rhythm and then find our own place eventually. That wasn't happening. And there was like no jobs, no nothing. And so I was just like freaking out a little bit, doing the best I could to be creative and start businesses and a lot of the whole other subject. But so we were there for 6 months, and then my dad was preparing to sell the house. So he's, you guys are probably going to have to move out and as soon as you can. I was like, oh my God, no money, no nothing to get a house. A friend called and she was like, hey, you should join these groups that these women that are were supporting each other. I was like, okay. And I did. And within 4 or 5 days, I got enough money to move out, to do first and last, just because, but I hit this place of aligning with something better because I was like scared. And then I went for a walk and I was like, okay, I've got to get it together and make something happen. And then my friend called. I was like, so the universe does take care of us. So
Absolutely.
that was a
Yes.
long story,
No,
but
perfect. Yeah, things are an upgrade. When something falls away, we have to just consciously release it as much as we can to make way for the new. The death card is Pluto. The tower card is Uranus. These are outer planets. They're initiatory. So we think of death, we think of the tower as, oh, it's all crumbling, it's all dying, it's all be. Yes, but that's part of the cycle. On the other side of it all is growth and rebirth and reconstruction and upgrades and transformation between both the electric and magnetic. And I mean, I don't want to say that like I didn't accept assistance. You know, I had my kids, I would never want to put them in any kind of danger, but yeah, even it was really before them also, just living on the road, just without hardly any money and choosing that kind of lifestyle too, and being in the wilderness for years and just seeing the power of manifestation based in thought forms,
yeah,
based in what you're holding and what survival does. What is coming is a very rare cradle basket configuration, which is a really powerful alignment that involves the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Jupiter. Jupiter and Pluto opposite each other, and Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto all in harmony with each other. And it's really it's connected to collective awakening, dissolution, revolution, transformation, power structures, technology, consciousness. You know, so we look at power structures, technology, then we look at all these other things. Can all these things coexist? Well, of course they can. The problem in this world, though, is compartmentalization. You know, technology over here, humans, dependency, loss of soul, loss of consciousness, or consciousness is being engineered through fear, through false flags, psyops, social engineering, indoctrination programs, blah, blah, blah. So technology can keep all that alive in a person. It can exacerbate it. It can hook it even further. Or an awakening sovereign individual can work with technology and have a completely different experience.
right.
So this particular configuration is happening or peaking in July. We are in July, right? July 20th, July 21st. And it's really going to act as like a tuning fork of this powerful alignment going on that really shows that humanity is ascending. And when we talk about ascension, we're talking about advancement of the human vessel, awakening dormant DNA, being more of your authentic self, and tapping into these deeper, profound abilities that we have. Now the planet, is really, holding this. It's not repairing and restoring and rehabilitating in the way that it had to before because of the reversal grid technologies. And so yes, there's a lot of cleanup still, toxicity, chemtrails, a lot still is breaking down, but the threshold has been crossed. Now it's up to humans to catch up. And a lot of humans have been conduits of these energies moving through, grid workers, guardian souls, and just people that are living a more conscious, holistic existence. But what have you been noticing? Do you notice that if you start to veer, not like you, but like clients, or just even if, you at times and myself, if we start to veer, aren't you noticing just it's like the core energy right now on the planet and within is way more able to feel the difference versus kind of going along with what's going on in the news and different trends and different eras and different going from the 70s to 80s to 90s, and just knowing something's up and knowing that there's something deeper. But like you say, in the here and now, it's becoming so much more alive in the world that you can't miss it at this point. Like everybody is like, right there, guys,
It's totally. Well, and that, like you just said it too, like our bodies are upgrading. So this is why, like, it feels time has sped up, like lights. That's what I'm saying. We're having to adjust at light speed within our bodies. So we're feeling maybe a disconnect or discomfort in the body, in the back or the hips, and it's like we're like mutating into this higher frequency, and it is happening fast. So that's why it's so important that we are clear and go and completely over the threshold. Like that's like they're holding on to our ankles or trying to get over the threshold, and it's like it's uncomfortable, but we are doing it. And I just lost my train of thought. It's like I was somewhere.
No, you're right on the train. You're like choo-chooing.
I'm like choo-chooing. Yes,
often like staying on track. It's veering off sometimes the person doesn't notice because they get distracted and they believe in that distraction. But like getting off track, when you're getting a bit derailed and you're a bit off. Anyway, because a lot of people mask being off or derailed with other things to addict themselves to so they don't notice it. And then they just accept the physical symptoms, which are really the body's way of saying, come home. We're sounding the alert that you're veering off, and your body's like, hey, listen to me. And most humans are like, oh, I'll just take this drug, or I have this diagnosis. I'll live with this. This is just what I inherited or what I caught or what I ended up with in life. And it's not
true. That I said it's not true, because we could reprogram and upgrade, like you said, upgrade our DNA, upgrade our cellular memory, and release everything that is uncomfortable and what we're feeling in the body. And that's what I mean by light speed. That's where I was going before, was that we are in the now time. So there is no lag like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, like you were saying, 90s. There was like a lag time, connecting with our guides and but now it's boom. The second we have a thought, it's going to manifest. Like that's the time we're in right now. This is it. So that's why it's so important. We're putting our consciousness and our thoughts have to be, we cannot get derailed with the negative thoughts, or that's why I have to all day long. I'm like, is that my thought? No, so we're having to be more diligent than ever before.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, and the thoughts that, you just have to do with, belief systems in general, limiting belief systems, what religion is, encouraged, because a lot of people who say they're religious aren't really coming from the heart or compassion, or even give anybody a chance that might be outside of their religion, that don't even exist within, a structure like that, who would call themselves spiritual. I mean, it's amazing how much astrology gets targeted. It's like, why, to honor and understand the cycles of creation's patternings and the way things operate, the higher octave, the lower, what the galactic history is as to why people are functioning way more in the lower spectrum of frequencies compared to, people that really do, the inner work or meditate and find the divine essence again in the tones that connect with these signs. It's part of our DNA. It's a part of every aspect and sector of our lives, and the elementals and every organ and every part of who we are, the inner, the outer. It's really, quite amazing. So I don't know where I was going with that, but
I
interestingly,
love it.
Mercury is conjunct the sun, and it's going retrograde. This Sunday it peaks, going retrograde. And you found a term that's called, what is it, Kazami?
Kasami, because we're already in Mercury retrograde, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We're already in Mercury retrograde in Cancer. So it's like our extra, because we're still in it. So we can probably touch on that. Like it's kind of an emotional week, maybe with family members, or, trying to figure out more of what's in your life, and communication with Mercury, right? So so there just might be a lot kind of bubbling up. And then, yeah. So then on the 12th, well, and you're the astrologist, but you said it. So the Mercury aligns with the sun, right?
So
Completely aligns with the sun.
yeah, so a Kazami
And
is,
it's called a Kazami.
yeah, it's when yeah, there's like a certain closeness, like it's in the heart of the sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's when it's within about 17 minutes of the arc of the sun, instead of being like weakened and overwhelmed by the sun, the planet is considered purified and illuminated and empowered. So that really helps with the Mercury retrograde, because Mercury retrogrades not force us, but encourage us. And the energy just says it, because it's about the frequencies, and the energies, to go inward and to process and to, yeah, turn that Mercury magician inward, to see where we need to change our mind about certain things, where we might be holding on to unconscious patterns. How does the mind speak to the body? We have to catch ourselves. Sometimes we don't realize what that dialogue is, or that we might have inherited, that's gone silent, and it only shows up in a sort of a patterning that we can't even catch, because it's so unconscious and lodged in the body. Mercury retrogrades are a really, really powerful time for healing. And Neptune is just entered retrograde in Aries. And Neptune has to do with the unseen realms, the multidimensional, the spiritual, the mystical. In its shadow, it's self-undoing, addiction, fogginess, confusion. And it's also connected to our creative imagination. So usually people feel confused when they want somebody to show them the way. They're not confused when they take it upon themselves to be the creator of their reality. Then you're not confused, because you're like, I can choose a thought. I can choose to align with my dreams and visions and manifest it. So under strong Neptune influences, people, if they lack confidence, can sometimes feel it's all too overwhelming, or they're feeling too much. They feel a sense of, like struggle emotionally. And sometimes they just turn to drugs and alcohol, or any form of addiction. But the stronger, higher octave of Neptune is the creative imagination. Like musicians and artists have a strong link to it. They're just bringing in all sorts of, different, just creative inspirations. And that's what is important, because if we don't, and we don't have the confidence to do so, we can feel very foggy and lost in the illusion, even haunted by archons and dark energies. And so that's really a good retrograde to go alongside with Mercury Sun conjunction with the Mercury part in retrograde. Where is your creative imagination? Is it hooked into energy vampires that are masked as societal programs? Because most societal programmings are there to siphon and harvest our energy, to engineer artificial timelines.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, so and it's about Aries. Can we be the divine human, where our ego identity is realizing that we are divine humans?
Yes. Oh, I
Aries,
love it.
solar plexus, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a powerful week to unpack all of that, everybody.
Get a lot of sleep. Get a lot of sleep.
That's
If
what I
you're
was just thinking, is like, yeah, sleep, a lot of sleep, because isn't Neptune like dreams too? So getting messages in dreams. Okay.
absolutely
Yeah.
dreams,
Vivid dreams.
compassion, empathy, people get empathic overload. And its lowest octave, yeah, addiction, self-undoing, because it really shines light on the unconscious.
Yeah.
And sometimes people want to avoid that. and they don't want to kind of clear that. So they just grab onto something. Society never has really helped very empathic souls in the school systems, the mystics, the, the
Priestess.
people that are dreamers. I was always asleep in class, but I'm like a heavy Neptune on my first house. Let me sleep. I'm dreaming.
I am a sleeper. Like I feel like I go to sleep with like when I'm stressed, when I'm happy. Like I love to, yeah. So this is perfect. Maybe that's why I've been so like, well, every time I don't know, for the last few full moons too, I've just been like this sleeping beauty tired. Is it like can't like it has been dreamy. So maybe I was feeling the energies of this Neptune coming up. So that really makes sense.
Yeah.
Like just this very, yeah. And I love that too. Just everything you just said is just like clicked of like we really need to get clear within ourselves, like no inner battles, no wishy-washy decisions on, oh, what should I do? It's time to get really clear, and to do that is to like really feel it in the body. So it's making just those decisions, like make a decision if you're trying to decide one or the other, and then it can kind of get just, and this I'm speaking with personal experience, like just if I can't make a decision, like, should I go, to this place or should I just stay home? And then I just get totally worked up and then I don't do anything. So it feels like this energy that we're going through is like to just make a decision, to align with a decision and then do it.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
and it might be that you're preparing for that decision, and you might even feel a little bit inactive with Neptune going retrograde and Mercury in retrograde, but it's like I really feel we're being prepared to be a lot more solid with decisions and work our way towards these, goals. Prepare, get the rest you need, get your energy body where it needs to be, and then like boom, go for it. Um, you know, some of the aspects also, Venus conjunct the South Node in Virgo, Venus entering Virgo. So the South has to
Oh,
do with what we're reflecting on. And the best, thing about all this, as far as having the time to just process and reflect, is that Venus in Virgo is a major boost in self-love. What do we need to do to take care of our body? What can we give ourselves? How like Venus in an earth sign that's ruled by Mercury, the mind is thinking from the heart. So the heart, which loves, would be my mind telling me that I need to love my body, I need to give it good food, I need to give it good rest. The opposite north node is Pisces, Neptune, like we were talking about. So as Neptune's retrograde and Venus is like, take care of me and love me,
yeah.
we're preparing our physical vessel for something really big. So taking good care of the physical body with the polarity of the Pisces Neptune with the Virgo Mercury Earth, Pisces water, is get a lot of rest. That's a part of taking care of your body. And then when you wake up and you're feeling refreshed, you have a lot more access to your higher mind. You have a lot more clarity to be able to think from a much higher level than being stressed and exhausted, and constantly, maybe triggered even. Because rest is like meditation too. Your nervous system gets to reset. So really taking care of the mind, tranquility, the nervous system, Uranus, and these aspects that create this cradle. While the physical body prepares, by the time July 20th, 21st comes, if we do give ourselves the respect and the quality of life that we deserve, we're going to be well prepared for what's to come and very clear in ourselves about what to watch out for and be discerning about. So, and it's just, we're in incredible times. I feel more positive than normal. Maybe it's that Venus entering Virgo, but I feel it in my body,
Yeah.
like a positivity that, I don't know, the last couple of years were really rough. I know it has been for a lot of people, you as well, both of us. And we've
Yeah.
been like pulling each other out of dark
Yeah.
nights, like, hey, just for a breather, not like we can do it for
Flashlight. Are you
like,
in
hey,
there?
like,
Come on. Get out
have
of
a
there.
dark night of the soul. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's been intense. And I know a lot, just with our clients that we've been going through the ringer, but I call it, we've been going through the birth canal. That's why I'm like this. No, that's why I called it the never ending portal. We're just like, that's like the size of a pinhole, and we're just getting squished through it to the to the higher timeline. But it's like this, exactly that, what we've been going through. But I feel the same thing, is like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Wait, don't
Well,
go to the light. So
yeah, I don't know about all that, but
I don't know either. I'm
um,
just
yeah,
jokes
but I feel,
aside.
no, I know, right? I feel like
Yeah,
the veil is lifting though, and the birth
it
canal is
is.
like opening to where the light and the dark and the circulation of energy between the light and dark are really strong, because, we are being pushed, into, this, I think, sense of completion where the clearing, because we're doing so much more than just our own inner work. That dark night of the souls aren't just our own personal lives, it's for the planet. These cycles that require transmutation and release and energetic movement and grid work and all this, kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, when everything's breathing down our neck trying to keep it from that, like the hole gets
Yeah,
really small. But like if we can just keep on going, the whole planet is going
big
to have this
doorway.
veil lifted. And it's the veil over consciousness, that has kept this net alive, because the net, our seals and fences in our DNA that just limit our ability to reconnect with true source and our creative power. And yes, there's been tactics used, and we were really in lockdown as a humanity, but that's all changing. Maybe not for everybody. Um,
I believe that,
yeah,
because it's our consciousness is unlocking it. Like we are the keys to unlocking it. And that's why we have to just stay positive every day, even if we're going through, really tremendous hard times, or difficult challenges like we have been in the last couple of years. But that's, well, like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because we are the keys. And I do feel that positive energy that you're feeling. Like I can feel like the we're on the new timeline. We are over that threshold. Yeah.
definitely. I mean, because it's
Yeah.
it's in us. It's the divine blueprint. Anything else is just taking us on a like a detour, and that detour will circle back the minute we begin to remember, the minute people deprogram, the minute people just allow themselves to have adversity and dis-ease and discomfort, bring them home again and
Mhm,
unearth, what is being held within, that
mhm.
has the solution, the power of regeneration, the power of higher consciousness anchoring into the nervous system and physical body. And it's like we have everything we could possibly need. And I really do think that the light at the end of the tunnel, even if we do get rerouted and recycled, and it's because we keep coming back until we break the programming, until the veil is lifted and the net is broken down within ourselves. Like we wouldn't face a light that reroutes us in this recyclable experience if we didn't still have something to learn to override and overcome the archonic forces.
Right.
The minute we're senior to it, the minute we collapse it and
Mhm,
and take full command, we're in a completely different experience. So
mhm.
we don't just get recycled in being ascended masters when we do reach that. We're no longer caught in that loop, but it's a part of our training ground to reclaim, I feel, the
Yeah,
masters that we came here to remember that we have been and that we are destined to become again.
totally. The whole cycle, beautifully said, Laura. Like I love that. And we're coming in like yeah, like that makes sense, even if we are recycled back in. See, I feel like our consciousness can never be taken over or tricked. I think that's my personal, and when we're on the other side, I feel like we are, we're connected to God's source creator. We are in charge over there. So, and then, it's up to us if we do come back in to do it again and to bring it back into balance is what I feel like we're all here doing. Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, it's a
Of
commitment to these. Oh, sorry, keep going.
yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I mean,
commitment.
I feel it's a commitment to this physical density. So the ego can get tricked.
Mhm.
The mind can have,
Yeah.
belief systems or programmings that it adopts. I mean, there's trickery and deception and manipulation here. But yeah, I mean, we choose to come back in to begin to take this physical vessel that's holding those ancestral patterns, holding the heavy density, holding it in the cellular memory of other lifetimes, to break it down so that people begin to be born into this world with more advanced human vessels to land in, instead of, yeah, what it has been. Because I really do think because there's a lot of star seeds and advanced souls that come in and take on these physical vessels, and then they advance them, and
Yeah.
we're all advancing the human experience and physical density to a new level that I feel
Mm.
people will have an easier time incarnating into, because we're doing this for future generations. We're doing it for the earth.
Yeah.
I think there'll always be a 3D training ground, for people
Yeah.
to maybe have to pass through, while there'll be some that volunteered in order to remind them of how to get out of it. But, I think
Right.
there's a lot of familiarity for folks that are listening and us that are way more like higher earth energy remembrance. That's why it feels so foreign and weird here. It doesn't mean better or like in a ego kind of way. It's just you're more used to a unified uh, population of people and higher capacities. I think every single soul holds that in their memory somewhere.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Yeah. It's exciting times. It is. So we can do this together, all of us holding each other's hands and doing it. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Laura.
And it's just inviting it back, to source, out of inversion, out of toxicity, and the earth, responds to the process of our own purification from within. And and people will have different agreements or karmic things to contend with to get to that point. And everything encoded in nature and in our soul is to get us there, to bring us home. Everything is designed for that. That's why every discomfort is guiding us home, but the system is rigged to cause us to fear it and give our power away for somebody else to fix it and solve it. And
Yeah.
I really think that the month ahead is going to be a great reminder, because people will feel the frequency difference between staying
Mhm.
dependent and becoming empowered and sovereign. So,
Yeah. I love it.
yeah,
Feel it to heal it. I love when you tell people that, it's like, and it's so true because every time I've felt it, on a deep level, the dark night of the soul, what we just been going through, and then healing it, because I've healed some, really deep inner wounds that have been shown to me in the last year that I didn't even know were there. But I feel like I've healed them, but I had to really feel it, get down in the trenches. And then now I'm like, okay, because if we don't feel it, then it's just gonna, like you said, towards the beginning, it's just gonna keep um, looping on, like, in the subconscious, like just in the background, because we're just kind of used to it. So if we're not faced with it, then we're not going to grow.
totally. And I think if it's internalized and lodged, that's what keeps addictive behaviors alive, because you just want that feeling to go away. And then once you face it and clear it, you're not grabbing at something to make you feel better. You're getting to the core point of it. And that's why Neptune rules the creative imagination and the higher dimensions of dreaming and manifesting. But all these things lodged in the unconscious, we have to break through, because that feeds the physical vessel. It's opposite
Yeah.
Virgo, Mercury, Earth, physiology,
Mhm.
physical body, how the mind speaks to the body, epigenetics, what DNA traits are being activated, or properties. And
Mhm.
potentials and patternings that we inherited, based in
Right.
what's hiding in the unconscious, or what we're clearing, and how that transfers and changes the game, changes the way our physical body responds. But
Mhm.
yeah, it requires a lot of deep diving, and we need societies that encourage that and take time to nurture that in our schools, not just this robotic regurgitate. I mean, everything has to just completely turn around in that way, um
Yep.
to have a generation of the healthiest and most soulful and purposeful,
Yes.
that are their purpose is their truth, not what has been cast upon them to achieve and be rewarded for. It might utilize their talents and skills, but is that really the direction you want to take it, if you realize who actually has recruited you into their system or their corporation or their industry? So all that's crumbling, which is great. And we'll see
Yeah.
about the data centers. I mean, it's disturbing what I'm hearing, but we'll definitely dive into that. I think that's going to be a good theme
Yeah.
next week. I'm Yeah, just did a show with Fernando Vasa about it. It's pretty
Okay.
profound. But any
Oh,
final
awesome.
thoughts before we go? Saturn is square the sun tomorrow, so it might get a little serious and heavy. So make sure
Okay.
to laugh when you can. Laugh.
Well, good.
And
Drink lots of water and stay grounded this week. I think, like you already mentioned, Just walk barefoot out in nature, breathe. I actually forget to breathe.
I do
I'll
too.
catch
You can
myself
tell by the
like
way I talk.
holding my breath. I'm like, and like throughout the years with friends, breathe, Jemay, oh yeah, okay. So breathe and just really nurture yourself and just know you're not alone of what you're going through on your timeline. We're all here experiencing and yeah, and we're here to help each other through it.
Yep. And we're magical beings, our true divine blueprint. It's just so beautiful and wonderful. And, the archaeology of the soul, is to really dig deep and recover your treasures. That is also the dark night of the soul, not just clearing
Mhm.
stuff out of the way to get to your treasures and to lift them
Yeah.
out of wherever and let them shine, let them be just the brightness of your future because it holds the journey to source and the beautiful timeline to have heaven on earth anchored in the physical. So
Yeah.
the tree of life, the tree of life.
I love it. And then just the final thought or, message or statement, whatever you want to call it, just that we do readings together
Oh yeah.
and we have a subscription. So do you want to tell everybody about that?
Sure, I'll share a little bit and you can share a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do astrology and I think I'm a very different astrologer in the sense that I related to DNA planetary grids and breaking, patterns and inversion and seeing and noticing the higher octave versus staying stuck in some of the shadow aspects that sometimes we normalize. So Janae like tunes into the energy connected with all that, and she taps into the Akashic field. And between the two of us, we're very, very thorough.
Really?
And yeah, so we do that. We do hour sessions, we do half-hour sessions. We're gonna be sharing some package deals that are really, really awesome, very, very thorough, and it'll allow us to work with you for a certain amount of time. And we really look forward to launching that. And then
Yeah.
we do subscription, and we do weekly Zoom calls. We do discounted sessions. You can message us and get in earlier than you might see on the calendar. What are the other benefits and what else do you want to share?
Yeah, that's about yeah, no, I'm really excited because just working with you in the last couple of years has been amazing because we are just a really amazing team, in sessions like when you do the astrology and like you said, I do the energy and we can pack a lot in a session and we just dovetail really beautifully together. And
Yeah.
we really do want to help. Like, I just love working with you because everything comes from your heart and
Oh,
it's beautiful. So yeah, and I love our Zoom calls that we have every week with our subscription, and you can find all of this on your website and my website.
yeah.
Uh, so
Yeah.
if anybody's interested, go check it out.
Yeah. And it's all about holding a really safe container for you to fully be yourself and work through
Yeah,
stuff and yeah, and process and not feel so alone. And it's
yeah,
it's really beautiful. We also do
yeah,
a weekly newsletter and we'll be doing more
yeah.
shows. And we're really looking forward to working with you. So
Yeah.
I'll put all the links in the description and it's also, it's wonderful when it's interactive. So we do mini sessions when we're on these calls, but also we pass the talking stick. Sometimes people just want to share
Yeah.
what they've been going through. So hope you'll check it out and yeah, enjoy this week. And it's good to know what the landscape or the climate shows because sometimes, we run into things and it just doesn't make any sense. And we start to get really hard on ourselves about it. Like, why can't I, make this happen? And what's the resistance? Well, maybe a lot's in retrograde and that Saturn square is putting the pause button on something. It's very helpful to know. So make the most out of this week.
Yeah.
And up until this cradle, hits, it'll be interesting to see what's on the other side. July is supposed to be a really powerful activation.
Feels like it. Like I feel it. That's what I was getting when I was tuning in this morning. Like, whoo. All right, we got this.
Yeah, totally.
I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, and in the activation, what it means is the tuning of authenticity and living your truth, everything else falls away, everything begins to release. So just trust the process of what needs to
Yeah,
go. It's easy to want to hold on for dear life. And remember, whatever's meant to be will return and is meant to be. So have trust in yourself in the process.
That's totally, I didn't say it out loud in the beginning, but because you were talking, I'm like, yes, like, yeah, just trust. That's the key word for this month. Trust that your higher self is guiding you correctly. Trust the universe wants to take care of you the best way that it can. And yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And
It's
the only
good.
thing that's
So,
interfering are the things that just want to steal your energy and trick you out of
yeah.
yourself. So
Yeah.
cut those cords. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time.